This is a quick little review on how to find the estimate by rounding to the nearest hundreds in subtraction. So let's get started. I need to find the target digit, which is actually in the hundredth place. So I look at this number and say the 1 is in the ones place, the 6 is in the tens, and the 3 is in the hundredths place. Now I'm going to go ahead to go to shapes and pick a circle, and I went ahead and put a circle here and change the color of the circle to transparent. Now, what we're going to do, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to look at the 3, and the rounding rule says look to the neighbor to the right, which is number 6, and 6 is more than 5. So in the rounding mountain, if it's 5 or more, I have to raise the score by 1. So that means that I have to raise 3 by 1. So now, having this in mind, I can also start thinking about what is the next base down from 361, and that would make it 300. And what is the next base up? That would be 400. Again, most likely the answer is 400 because the 6 tells the 3 to go up 1 more. However, if I want to look at this whole number, 361, I can ask myself, 361, is it closer to 300 or 400? Well, it's definitely closer to 400. So I'm going to go ahead and write the answer right here, 400. And I do the same, I go through the same process over here with 117. Again, the target number, I'm going to borrow the circle from here. The target number is in the hundredths place, and in this case, it happens to be the second one right here. So this is ones, tens, hundreds. I look next door, and 1 is the neighbor. According to our rounding rule, if it's 4 or less, I have to round down. So most likely, I'm going to have to round down to the next base, which would make this 100. If I wanted to, if we round up, the next base rounding up is 200. So now I can again do 2 things. I can either look at the neighbor and see what the neighbor tells us to do. The next digit tells us to either round up or round down. In this case, the 1 tells the other one in the hundredths place to round down to 100. So that's most likely the answer. I can also ask myself, 117, is it closer to 100, or is it closer to 200? And I can most definitely say that this is closer to 100. Now I'm going to quickly subtract. 0 minus 0 is 0. 0 minus 0 is definitely 0. 4 take away 1 is 3. And now 300 is the estimate difference in this problem. However, I'm also going to find out what is the actual difference in this problem. So I'm going to ask myself, I'm going to take the little circle away because I don't need it anymore. So I'm just going to put it on the side. Okay, so now I have 1 minus 7. Do I have enough to subtract? Absolutely not. So I'm going to go ahead and look at the 6. I'm going to borrow a base 10. Okay, increments of 10. So I'm going to go ahead and get my scribble, and I'm going to put a line through the 6, and I'm going to put a line, scribble again, and I'm going to put a line through the 1. Again, I'm just tabbing right there. And the reason why I did that is because the 6 goes down to 5 because I am borrowing 1 or a base 10 from the 6. So I put the 1 in the tens place, and I move up this 1 to the ones place, making my new number 11 minus 7. Now I'm going to go ahead and write the answer right here. So the way I would I would find out the answer. The difference would be 2. There are 2 ways to do this. I can take the 7 and count forward to 11, or I can take the 11 and count back to 7. So let's go ahead and count forward. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it takes 4 units to get to 11. So I'm just going to go ahead and put 4, or you can always say 11 minus 7 is 4, and you can count back. Now, my new number is 5 minus 1, and that is very easy. If I take away 1 from 5, that is 4. And then over here, if I take 1 away from 3, that is 2. So we can go ahead and compare. 244 is, yes, it is close to 300. So most likely this problem is correct. But this is how you would show your work when you're doing subtraction and finding the estimate by rounding to the nearest hundreds.